Hey YouTube, doing a 14 Waycrest here. So what I'm going to be doing in this video and for future videos, mainly just with this channel, I want to do playthroughs of, mid to high level dungeons, depending on what I feel comfortable with explaining everything while also trying to play my best is really what it'll come down to. I feel like, why did they just delist? Okay, refreshing. So I feel like a 14, I can do pretty good commentary and not have to stress out too much about how I'm playing. I mean, as you can see here, I've timed a good majority of 15, so 14 is, yeah, it's hard, but it's not hard is from what I've normally done. So I want to do explaining, make that over explaining while I go through the dungeons and try to help anyone that's new to the game or people that are, just trying to get above that. I've timed a 10, but I want to time a 15 range and see if I can offer any tips, stuff that you may not know, certain interrupts that you may not know what it does if you miss that interrupt, certain boss mechanics, whether it's physical damage, magic damage, knowing when to use your defensives, stuff like that. Is this group really gonna deform? Man, I might have to look for another group. Oh well. I also, while we're waiting here, and before I skip ahead, I do want to mention too, gear, definitely important. And when I say gear, I'm not talking about DPS or HPS. I'm talking stamina. Reason being, about 3 weeks ago, I went into a plus 16 temple on Tyrannical. And everyone knows temple, that first boss, is what makes or breaks that key normally. That boss just does a fuckload of damage, and I found out when I was only 402 on my warrior, I was getting one-shotted by Arcblade. It scales so ridiculously high, some of the boss mechanics do, and what it comes down to is you can be as skilled as you possibly can, but I'm sorry, if you don't have the stamina to survive one-shots, you can't time the key. And that's kind of the issue I ran into. So what I've been doing, at least on my healer here, is I know in dungeons you're supposed to actually run haste mastery for more of a overall HPS gain, but I've actually been running more of a balance between raid and dungeons. As you can see, I'm running a lot of versatility and crit. What that does for me is it actually gives me more DPS, so I can actually do a considerable amount on reaping pulls, as well as survivability from the versatility. And then with Azerite, I basically have all 3 415s. Now, I probably would do more HPS if I were to say equipped. Where's my other 400? This one, I know Bond Souls got nerfed, but this one still has pretty good traits. The synergistic growth is really strong in dungeons. Another good example is this one. Its Burst of Life is a cooldown reduction on Cocoon. It's very useful. Doesn't really do much for HPS, but it's a lifesaver. 20 seconds off Burst of Life or off Life Cocoon is actually pretty valuable. So I lost that trait, but I did gain, like, what is that? Oh wow, it's actually a lot more than I thought. 600 stamina. So most mechanics I can survive even without a defensive. I have 2 defensives. I have Fortifying Brew and Diffuse Magic. So take it for what it is. It's essentially, if you feel comfortable with, when to hit your defensives, then fine. If you're not dying to it with a defensive, or even when you don't have a defensive up, then go for DPS, HPS, whatever. But if you want to get up to those high keys, you need to make sure that you have as much stamina as possible, or versatility. It honestly doesn't necessarily matter whether your DPS spec wants versatility or not, because honestly, Mythic Plus is forgiving enough where it's all about surviving. Keep in mind, every death is 5 seconds off the clock. So if you die, well, you're hurting the key. So with that said, if it's a slight DPS loss, and when I say slight, unless it's like 1,000 or more, then don't listen to what I'm saying. But if it's very minimal, I would honestly recommend giving up a little bit of DPS to gain damage reduction with versatility or stamina to help survivability. So you can actually do those plus 15s on Tyrannical. You can survive this next coming week. Well, the week that I'm recording this, it's Fortified Skittish Bolstering. So you could survive if you pull aggro with a bolstered mob on fortified, you know, it's that type of thing where it's like if you have that damage reduction, it's super invaluable, and a lot of people don't think that way because all people care about is, oh, my DPS, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I get that DPS is important, don't get me wrong, not trying to discourage anyone from you know, trying to max your DPS out, but you know, it's survivability first, 100%, and that's the same that goes for you know, progression and really anything in this game, high-end content. You want to be able to survive more than anything, because everyone's heard the saying, a dead DPS doesn't do any DPS, you know, and some things are out of your control, man. It's like you know, you'll use your defensive to survive one mechanic, well, then it happens again, and say you just got RNG'd by some thing right before it, and you know, then all of a sudden you get that giant AoE damage that goes out on a set timer. It's like, well, you're kind of fucked, right? You basically hope for an external from your healer, or you're dead. But you know, that's kind of why it's like I recommend going for stamina and versatility in Mythic Plus, especially the tyrannical weeks. And yeah, so that's my little rundown of it. And basically I guess I have to look for a new group here, because yeah, that tank's not getting invited. I'll be back. I'm gonna look for a new key, and then we'll start the key. I've rambled on long enough, but that's like my little intro, and I hope you guys can actually learn something from that. Peace. Alright guys, I am back. So I did find a group here. This is a 13 Dagor. This should be interesting. I want to just give this a go, kind of for science. I'm assuming the worst, it's gonna go terribly, and this is why. Look at this bear. Okay, now keep in mind this is a bear tank, right? Bear tanks are known for being able to fuck the group because of aggro related issues. He has currently 2 blue items. The main one is that weapon. Now if you're, oh sorry, 3 blue items. If you're not familiar, what the weapon really does is it's aggro generation, right? It's really the only thing that matters as far as your damage for a tank. So damage is related to aggro, and if you have a shitty weapon on skittish week and you're a guardian druid, you're gonna have a rough time. Well, not him or her, it's mainly gonna be the melee DPS, which we currently have 2 of, one of them being a demon hunter. It's actually inspect. Is he running Fell Barrage? Where is it? I don't know demon hunter talents. Okay, he's not. He's running Trail of Ruin. But point being, it's fortified bolstering, right? If at any point he loses aggro, the DPS are gonna get meleeed for at least half their health. So this is gonna be fun. Let's do this. Oh shit! Wait, I need to fucking. Okay, we're good. I would recommend
5,
verse food. What I was saying
4,
earlier, I don't
3,
have verse food, so
2,
I'm bad.
1.
But anyways, here we go. I don't have my water strider out. That's fine though. I feel like I'm not really gonna get to DPS, just judging by how hard that hit him at first before he got Iron Fur up. I'm just gonna drop that trinket now so I can keep DPSing. See, this is what I'm talking about with the crit verse build. Having a healer that basically can do damage equivalent to a Disc Priest is really nice. Now, I have to be quicker on reactions to make up for it, but that's fine. I have a lot of tools to save people really quickly.
3,
so
2, 1.
Okay, there's the lust. I'm just gonna do DPS here. Keep the hots on him as much as possible. Spin, crane kick, all this shit. So if you didn't know what those do, doesn't matter with this tank because he just dispels it, but every time you kill one of those bugs next to him, it gives him a damage buff. It's like an enrage effect.
Beware.
And it's pretty much exactly like the actual Affix enrage, so druids can just dispel that and purge it, as well as hunters, so it's actually not too bad for a bear tank on this fight.
Beware.
And generally you just kill them anyways, because they do more damage from meleeing your DPS if the tank can't grab aggro on all of them than they would if you just kill them and let the tank pop an extra defensive while the buff is on the boss. Beware. It only lasts for, I think, 6 seconds or something like that, so it's not a big deal. I guess we'll see when it goes off. Okay, it's for, yeah, it's about 6 seconds, and each one is 5% haste and damage increase, so it's not terrible. Get him topped up. Do a little bit of healing. Back to DPS. Keep hots, essence font, more mastery buffs. There we go. Back to DPS.
Beware.
Now this is just padding at this point. So everyone likes to pad.
Beware.
And easy boss, easy life. So yeah, 8.7 on that. Pretty nice, honestly. Especially if you are, say, running with guildies that have ults or something and you're like, you know, trying to get gear to them, like having a healer that can provide that extra DPS to make up for, say, a DPS that is under geared, it's pretty much a wash. Then it's very, very helpful. And that's, I've kind of just fell in love with this build, honestly. I've always stood by haste mastery, but you know, like Tyrannical Grievous weeks, it's kind of like you just, as a Mistweaver, you can't do that. What's this guy doing? He went and whacked the mob. It's like you just can't do that on Tyrannical Grievous. Most Tyrannical fights anyways, you can't do it. You just run out of mana and it's just terrible. So running more of a crit verse build is very, very helpful. And I know I'm kind of saying this in terms of like Mistweaver specific, but you know, a lot of the things I said, especially in the intro about running more versatility, it kind of applies to every role. I mean, obviously tanks always want versatility, but you know, you can take that, what I said, and make it work for any role in the game, any spec, any role. I mean, other than like, say, Shadow Priest, I don't think there's really anyone that would like super hardcore dump DPS for versatility. But you know, there's a few exceptions out there. I just not going to take the time to actually go through them right now. Feel free to comment below if you think differently, or just give your opinion. You know, I'm open to suggestions, and this is what this channel is going to be. It's all feedback, debating what's best, and you know, ultimately trying to get to the same place, and that is pushing high keys. So this is all pretty straightforward here. These mobs just throw rocks at you. They're kind of worthless in my opinion, so don't really need to do too much about this. It is really annoying though, all mobs in Dagor like to run away when they're low. So generally if they're heading towards a bad area, I'll use my Ring of Peace for that. And now we have Reaping. Oh wait, no we don't. They open the gate. Okay. We have Reaping and 5% over there. You know, it's really good that I have the Enveloping Ward. This is actually really nice for skittish if you have melee that are pulling aggro, because I can kind of put it down and just basically it's a free shield, so it's like it's preventative for sure. And it doesn't have a cast time, it's instant, so it's pretty freaking nice. Spare is not doing too bad. I'm actually pleasantly surprised so far. Let's see how he handles the magic damage coming up though. Okay, yep, that would be the skittish right there that I was talking about. Couldn't do anything about that. I could have cocooned him, but he got meleeed 3 times there, so that's unfortunate. Now next time I'm just gonna bubble him as soon as he starts taking damage, since I know the bear tank can't get aggro back as quick as I thought he could. Okay, I'm gonna ring a piece this guy just so that he stays in the cleave. We don't want him getting another watery dome off, because that's a shield that I guess the shaman can purge, and so can the demon hunter. So it's not a big deal, but you know, it's just a GCD that they don't have to worry about then. Okay, now we have reaping, so watch out for the shadow smash, dispel that off of him, get him healed up. DPS a little bit. I'm gonna revival to get everyone topped. Cocoon the mate, or the mage, the rogue, because he's getting fucked. Dispel again. I'm gonna have to drink after this for sure. That was pretty good though. Everyone kind of split the stacks. That was nice. I actually prefer when people split the stacks, at least as a monk, because I can just quickly cleave heal. Oh man, I need fucking mana, guys. I should have drank. I just didn't have the food on my hotbar because I was playing with a mage before, and that mage food is now gone. Okay, can I get a reset? Can I? What are we in combat with? Oh, we still have another one here. That's weird. They just randomly phase in. So I did not see this guy before. Okay, I think the tank knows that I'm trying to get a reset. Is that gonna cancel my food if that ticks? No. Okay, good enough. Don't want to be too greedy with drinking, because with skittish you can lose a teammate in literally less than 2 seconds, so don't play it too greedy. As long as you have enough mana for that pull, you can get a drink next pull. Not a big deal. Dispel that so he doesn't get stacks too high. Again, kill these mobs that are running away so they don't see how they were about to do. I should have paralysis that. Actually, they purged it. It's fine. I'm just gonna do that for the hell of it. Save some time so we don't have to chase and then run back. Dispel. We're doing pretty good. We got this. I miss on him some more. I'm gonna put down the ward. Yep. See how the rogue, I saw as soon as the rogue took damage, I put down the ward because I saw that coming, and then everyone proceeds to take damage. Okay, dispel that. I'm just gonna stun these guys so the tank can pull more and we can keep DPSing.
Beware.
Oh my god. Okay, they were standing in the ward, or in the okay, that would be a lot of shit got pulled. Yeah, see, they're fighting, so we can't. Yeah, that was actually a good call. If you guys can read chat down there without it being too fuzzy. I think the shaman wanted to reincarnate and res us, but the problem was they continue fighting even after you die. The warden does. So actually, a nice little tip with that is I don't think the warden gives percentage. I know he doesn't apply to any apexes. So if you like get the mobs to actually, they are fighting when as soon as it starts. Basically, if you wait to pull that long enough, the warden will just be dead. You don't have to deal with it at all. So it's kind of nice if you just say kill these yellow mobs or something in the meantime. Sometimes you'll just be able to get off scot-free from killing the warden. Actually, he does count as 2.59, so if you can get at least a tag in on him, I'm pretty sure you won't get percentage if you don't tag him. I'm not sure exactly, but I've seen some groups do that. Again, I'm not an expert on this. I just, from what I've noticed, is looks like he's actually not taking damage. So they're like fighting animation right now, but I've seen before if you pull them
Beware.
and then run away from them, they'll keep fighting, and then you can just like let them die and come back to them later. But so I'm pretty sure if you pull this, yeah, see how this guy didn't reset? So if you wipe on this, it doesn't reset, and then they just keep on fighting, which is kind of nice. Okay, now he's coming over. It's just as soon as you get in their vision, they'll start attacking you again, it looks like. Dude, can you, like... Does anyone see that? Oh my lord, dude. This bear, man. Skittish is rough, guys. I literally did one Rising Sun kick and instantly got meleeed. And he was... I think he was taunting. That's just how bad Skittish can be if you don't have a proper weapon as a tank. They're still oh, he was also bolstered, and that makes sense. See, these guys are bolstered because we pulled them when we were fighting other mobs, and they were in range. And they don't reset combat until that guard is dead, is how that works. Because if they're still in combat, it won't reset, and they're still fighting. I can't kick that in time. He's trying to LOS him, it looks like. Can I bring a piece of that guy back? A little bit, yeah. Oh boy. You are just dead, my friend. So this is not going very well, because it's an undergeared bear tank. I would point my finger at... Oh, I gotta tell them this. It's not bugged, they'll reset now. We had to kill the guard they were fighting yet. So that's all I was just explaining to you guys. The shaman didn't know either. So when we come back, there will be no bolsters, if I'm correct on this. This poor DPS, man, are just getting fucking effed. Move out of that. Dispel, I'm gonna use my shield too, just in case any grade bolts hit people. So fun fact about grade bolt too, if you didn't know. You've probably gotten killed by it a few times, I think everyone has. And you probably sat there thinking, wow, that's really unlucky, I just got 3 grade bolts to the face. The way they work is they will grade bolt whoever, it's basically convenience. They're gonna grade bolt whoever's closest to them. So try not to be, you know, standing closer to them than the tank is. Let the tank take them, right? It's either that or you need to have your DPS coordinate where they stand and stack together so that they will just pick random people. It's very possible they would still pick one person. That's just RNG. But if you can spread that damage out, that's pretty good. Otherwise, just let the tank take it, because honestly, it doesn't do a lot, and a tank is much more inclined to be able to soak those, so not a big deal. But yeah, I've learned that from playing on my warrior. I just would like go around and cleave things, and it's like, oh man, I just got 200k damage in grey bullets. Like, what do I do about that? Just don't stand next to them. It's really that easy. So yeah, now they're not bolstered. I was correct about that. It's because of the guard. As soon as that reset, or as soon as we died, they reset because the guard was dead and they were no longer fighting. It's kind of an interesting mechanic, though. It's like a mob fighting another mob, but the mob basically counts as us. But he also gives percent, so very interesting pull in this dungeon. Just gonna like sweep that so he doesn't run into the boss arena. Keep in mind too that yellow does not bolster red. What I mean by that is the neutral mobs, like these scallywags, will not bolster a red mob, but yellow does bolster other yellow. So you can pull yellow mobs in bolstering and not have to worry about screwing yourselves. Just keep AoEing, ring piece, get them back here. Demon Hunter's pulling aggro. Fun stuff.
3,
okay.
2, 1.
Alright, so this guy does literally nothing too crazy. He puts a poison out, the crippling shiv, you just dispel that. Keep attacking him. This you just line of sight, so you just go behind here. You can dodge it too. The smoke powder is his intermission. If you're a human or have like Icebound Fortitude, something that it makes you immune to stuns, you can just racial out of that or use your ability to get out of it and then keep DPSing. It's pretty nice. So, as I found out last week, although I had already known this, but the tank tried to tell me that it wasn't the case, but Necrotic actually does apply on boss fights, so ads that are spawned in boss fights, such as this guy, do actually apply Necrotic. So if it's Necrotic week on this fight, make sure you clear the prisons. It's definitely what you want to do. Okay, we need to kick. Okay, someone kicked it, nice. Bobby Hollis here. This is actually a nice LOS point right here. I always go there. But yeah, Bobby Hollis, when he does the mauling, you gotta make sure you interrupt that. That's the only way to get the stun off. Otherwise, whoever he's kicking, you're just completely out of the fight for 30 seconds, and that's no fun. So make sure you help your friends out when you're doing this fight. So yeah, he fucks off. We go here. As far as bolstering goes, I don't think they bolster the boss. Actually, I know they do. Other mobs that aren't part of the boss encounter can bolster the boss. I just don't know if boss spawned ads do. Again, comment below if you know, because I would actually like to know. Again, this is all. What the hell? How is he immune to my stun? Did you see that? I like sweeped him. That's weird. I don't know. We have 16 minutes. We're almost to the cannons now, where we can actually make up a lot of time with the cannons and just kill all the mobs. Since it's not tyrannical, we can kill the bosses rather quickly. It's just a matter of, do we have the time? I don't know. I'd like to be optimistic and say we do, but we still have about half of the dungeon yet, so I don't know. Try to kill him even because of bolster. There we go. Not too bad. Alright, so the tank knows how to position these guys. This one will do a frontal, the suppression fire. We want to make sure you don't stand in front of that. It does a nice little dot here that inflicts almost 8k every 2 seconds. So that's 4k HPS required. That isn't necessary. So don't do that to your healer. And if you're tanking, please don't face them towards the group. And it has like a really long freaking range. Like you can see it went way over here, so it's at least like 20 yards. This guy doesn't really do anything. You just kick him or stun him when he does a stupid protection thing. Otherwise, he's just a meat shield. So dispel that off. We have reaping now. I'm gonna actually enveloping mist him, use my talent to get me more crit, and just kill all these motherfuckers. I'm just gonna cocoon him so I can keep DPSing. Move out of the shadow smash. Be very careful if a demon hunter drops darkness. It's very hard to see that overlap. Oh wow, that gator came now. That's funny. Watch out for the green swirlies as well. Those do some good damage. Those spawn whenever you kill a reaping mob, so yes, we definitely should shroud this. These casters, no one likes these casters. If you have a rogue, I would definitely recommend always skipping this and then sap that guy, and then yeah, just take the rest of this crap. to the cannons. I'll bring a piece of them out so they can shoot them. Don't shoot me, please. These cannons definitely do TK your partner, so be careful where you aim. If you actually zoom in with your zoom in function, for me it's the scroll wheel on my mouse, so you can zoom in or out accordingly to what you need when you're on the cannon. A lot of people don't know that, so just thought I would mention that. Okay, and the rest of this is basically just AFK and let the cannon do the work. You can also be prepared when reaping hits. We'll get it after we kill these mobs, I believe. And they're just going to come through this doorway, so the cannon just sits there and camps that. And you pretty much two-shot every mob. It's very convenient, and it's very easy from here. You can save a lot of time. I would actually recommend, if you have someone with invis, is to sneak over here or wait for the cannon to sorry, I'll dispel that. Wait for the cannon to pull the aggro on this side and then have someone else run over here and just gangbang them and start shooting both sides just to max the cannon cheese, because it's very, very helpful. Another thing I learned recently is if you do have a Shadow Priest, you can actually MC these and just have the MC basically tank it, and the cannon will not pull aggro off of you. So you can just MC and just have him attack these guys while the cannon just shoots them. So it's pretty nice. And the MC does take damage. I'm gonna kill this so he doesn't. Okay, I'll bring a piece of him off, actually. They all just went to the cannon. Just gotta make sure everyone's topped here. Nice. Let's make sure this guy doesn't die. Dispel that. Okay, now we're on to the boss fight. We still could do this. We have 11 minutes. As long as we don't wipe on the bosses, we could be good. Make sure you move these barrels when the the fight starts to one of the corners. Just save yourself some uptime on the boss, so you don't have to do it when the fight happens. We should have enough percentage. Yeah, make sure you get all these barrels. This is not a DPS fight. It's a mechanics check. That's good.
Beware.
See how everything is positioned there? We have 2 barrels in each corner. This is the safe corner, so we all can just stand here. So when they go off, it's very convenient that we don't have to move, and we can just keep DPSing boss. And the barrels, honestly, it's everyone's job. I mean, and besides the tank, because of positioning, I mean, I would, okay, she's gonna get all these off. I'm gonna get out of that. That's very, very nice. Good positioning on that. So these are gonna go off because of the fuse lighter there. Move these into a good spot. Which way is that facing? Okay, that corner. I should be safe if I hug the wall here. Nice. And just continue DPSing. Get these to the corner.
Beware.
Which way? Okay. Yeah, whatever you have. If you have DBM, it'll always say beware, as you guys can hear. Just either that or just be paying attention to the cast timer. As soon as you see that cinder flame going off, you gotta look at which way she's facing. It's pretty much a giant frontal that will one-shot you on higher keys, especially tyrannical, so don't want to be in front of that. And it's more cannon cheese here, so let the bear get the aggro, and
beware.
We just basically shoot them. These priests are really freaking annoying. They have 2 abilities. Inner Flames is just a giant AoE heal. See how much they're healing? Like, that's just ridiculous. And they have Righteous Flames, which is like a get off of me cast, where they just will disorient you if you're within like 5 yards of them. It's a giant AoE. So it's a little frustrating to deal with, especially when they're not grouped up. I mean, the cannon can only shoot once every second, so it's just like There, see how they got grouped up? That's, oh, really? 1,000 health, you're gonna do us like that? This is actually gonna be a timed key. And we have enough percentage here, so this is beautiful. Wow. So it just goes to show what I was saying earlier, is we fucked up a lot in this key, right? We did. Honestly, 14 deaths, that was 2 full wipes and then some. What I said about versatility and stamina is essentially, you know, had these demon hunters and rogues maybe had a little more versatility and stamina, those skittish wouldn't have killed those, the skittish hits they had, or killed them. I can't talk right now. It's like fucking 6:30 in the morning. I've had too much coffee and okay. So don't do that. Thank you for the B-res. I gotta get out of this shit. Oh boy. Got rezzed in a terrible spot. Okay, cannon, please stop shooting us. For the love of God. But yeah, it's like DPS is not a big check, honestly. It's like it's playing as a team well and minimizing the amount of deaths and downtime you have. So every time you die, you have to take 5 seconds for each death. So a full wipe is 25 seconds plus run back. And in some dungeons, that run back can literally be like 30 seconds or more. So it's very unforgiving in that point. And my argument is it's much more unforgiving than it is to, you know, lose 1,000 DPS overall. Like, make sure we don't overlap these. Nice.
Beware.
Don't be in the red there. It's like a dartboard. Not red. Am I colorblind? Maybe. The black. Let's play the dartboard game. Just aim for the light spots. All back out so they can keep DPSing. Always make sure you're paying attention to your energy bar here. You don't want to have that fill up or you will be stunned. At this point, I'm just going to stay back here.
Beware.
I do have human racial, which I can get out of. So I have like 1 get out of free jail card, essentially. But I'm just going to choose to sit here. I actually really like this corner if you're ranged or a healer that, you know, can DPS from ranged. It's ideal because watch what happens as I'm going to pop a defensive for that.
Beware.
Basically took no damage. See how it knocked me straight into it? If you can line yourself up on that corner, it's beautiful because you just don't go anywhere. That knockback is like by far the most annoying thing. I'll just use Cocoon because I have it, so why not? And it looks like this is going to be a time key. We do have 5 minutes yet. The boss is about to go down, so I'm very impressed with the recovery we had. I really didn't think the way this started it was going to be a time key. I bet you guys were thinking the same thing. So, go team. Just overhealing at this point. There's really nothing to do. Pop another defensive.
Beware.
Just get into the habit of using defensive. See, the difference between a defensive right here is that, well, the versatility with defensive. Look how much damage he took compared to me. And I'm leather, he's male. So it's, you know, it's important. Got a 400 weapon. Does anyone want that? Actually, oh, it's intellect though. I would give it to the tank, but it's not agility. Otherwise, that's best in slot for bear. It doesn't say it's an upgrade for anyone else, so I guess I will shard it. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. This was basically a run through of just one of many to come. If I talk too much, feel free to comment just what suggestions you think of how you want to see this done. Definitely over explaining. I wasn't lying about that. I am literally going to talk about everything. So I understand Mythic Plus can be kind of boring to watch. That's why it's like you just got to keep talking, explain everything you do, and, you know, just try to have fun with it at the same time. Hope anyone watching can learn something from this. I know it wasn't a super high key, but, you know, we did struggle in the beginning, and it kind of shows keys are forgiving. So you do have time. Don't ever panic if you start having a bad go on it. Just recover and play your best, and you can still time the key with plenty of time as shown here. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm going to take off, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace.